Sometimes I ask myself, what's the end? What's the end? What's the end of life? What's the end of the matrix? What's the end at the rainbow? When does the rainbow finish? When does this matrix finish? What lies at the end of the rainbow? I always ask myself these questions to the point where like I'm going insane. To the point I'm like, yo, I gotta stop jumping down the rabbit hole because I'm going to another dimension, man. People are thinking really I'm crazy. Everyone's worried for me. Everyone's worried for me. They think I'm gonna end up like that crazy guy living in the streets, man. Sometimes I think, man, yo, heck, like I might even go down there. Bro, sometimes I'm seeing those guys in the streets, like we're like, bro, those guys are crazy, but a lot of these guys are making sense out here. It's actually kind of scary. But God forbid we go down there. But yeah, I always tell myself, what's the end of the rainbow? You know, when the matrix is done, what happens, or when is it gonna be done? I think the matrix just ends when you just go. Well, at least your matrix, right? When you die, your matrix is done. Your family, friends, everyone's left behind, but you're just kind of done. And what happens after that, man? I don't know. You know, I don't think you go to another dimension. I think you're just done. You know, you see, all of us, we're actually all one programming, just split into like 8 billion different mindsets and personalities, but it's just like all programming. I think the best way to understand that is like you have a computer, but then there's the GPU and the CPU, and like there's different things, happening. Like you have a phone, right? That's one phone, so that's the matrix. And there's the camera, then there's the battery, then there's that. So it's all the same thing, but there's different things happening, right? So you have the matrix, you have this world, and then you have different countries, right? You have different people, but it's all one. Like it's like all one. Think of the Matrix like a picture book, like where the book called Earth, and then it's like human beings live here, and this and this and this and that. But that's kind of what it is. So this is the Matrix. This is the machine, and then we're living in the machine, all of us, right? So it's one machine, okay, and then there's a program that's written, just like how like GT has a story, and it's written and that, um, right? But it's just one game, right? But there's many different characters and different like story, like the story. There's different missions basically, and this life is the same thing. You know, it's one machine. The code is running. We have the story that the dinosaurs came, then evolution, and blah blah blah. And now we're here. That's the story. All right, but it's just one programming. We're all one program. It's just everyone's programmed to do different things. Like I'm programmed to do this. My brother's programmed to do that. My friend is programmed to do this. It's all one programming, but we all have different objectives. That's why when you meet people similar to you, they have that same code as you. It's the same programming code, whether that's making money or smoking weed or going to raves, going to parties or whatever, jumping off cliffs, whatever it is, right? You find your programming, but it's all one matrix. People think it's many different matrices and stuff. It's just one matrix. It's just people are programmed to do other things. I made another video of this. We're all AI, okay, and then we're just programmed with that same AI. So everyone's programmed with the same AI. So we have the same emotions, but the code kind of differs for like all of us. That's why we're individuals, right? Could just be a glitch in the matrix too. Like, the system got so sophisticated that the AIs that were generating, they started getting consciousness. Like we started getting consciousness and self awareness, so we're just more aware and stuff like that. Or what could have happened too? The Matrix could have just made us self aware because the Matrix Master was getting bored of the Matrix and he wanted to make us gain consciousness and awareness, just so we can figure out like, yo, we're in a game, we're in a simulation. And then the Matrix Master is like happy, like, yo, these guys, and it just fascinates them, you know? Kind of like you watch the show Westworld. You know, they had robots in the Westworld town, and they started getting consciousness, and everyone was like, "What the hell's going on here?" So it's just like that, you know. And we all seen those robot movies and stuff like that where they gain consciousness. But yeah, I mean, people are gonna think I'm crazy by dropping this video. Do I think I'm crazy sometimes? Sometimes, but I think when you kind of realize when you get older, it all kind of makes sense, you know, us being robots, AI. Obviously, we're not metal like metal robots. We're flesh. We're in the flesh, right? You know, like flesh, and then the spirit is like the programming. The souls is programming, right? The good news is, since we're in the matrix, you can reprogram yourself. You can write your own code. That's why people talk about like subconscious or conscious mind. You can put your own code in there, you know, and then once you put your own code there, you can rewrite the code. You can rewrite the system. Because your eyes, right? Your eyes and your ears. So what you see and what you hear, okay, it goes to your brain. So the eyes, ears, and the brain, that's the hardware. And what you see and hear, that's the software. That's why music is very dangerous. You listen to proper music. You don't listen to killing music and shit like that. And your environment's important. What you see. If you see a lot of family fighting with other family, you're gonna turn out like that. If you see bad stuff, it you want to imitate that. You want to do act that out because your programming changes. Because the hardware for everyone is the same. It's the brain, it's the eyes, it's the ears. So what you see and what you hear, that's all the software, and it goes to the hardware. So it starts going to the hardware. So that's why it's important you change your software, meaning you move to a better place, better area, people more civilized. So you can start seeing that, hearing that, you start becoming like that. Monkey see, monkey do, basically. Right? Because we want to copy other programs. We're designed to reproduce, to multiply, to not die out. So the human being, what people don't understand, we have a survival instinct, okay? So we just want to survive. So we always been tribal creatures. We go in a tribe so we can survive. We have more chance of survival and we are safe. So the thing is, now we evolved to a civilized society. So we don't have to be like this, but our brains still work the same way. So when you hang out with guys that don't work, right? It sounds silly, but what happens is slowly by slowly you start telling yourself, you start copying their software. Because the thing is, you want to survive. And if you don't have another friend group and you're lonely, you start realizing like the only way to survive, the only way to be happy is like being with these guys. So you're with these guys, and now you have to smoke weed too. You have to do this too. You have to do that too, because if you don't, they're not gonna want to hang out with you. And if they don't want to hang out with you, you're gonna be left in the forest to die. And obviously, there is no forest left to die, because we're a civil, high, advanced society. But the brain is still captivates like it's fight or flight, right? You either survive or you die. So that's why it's so scary. So that's why when you go to good places and you do good stuff and you put yourself in the right mindset, your brain starts saying that for it to survive, it needs to become wealthy. For it to survive, it needs to be like this person. It needs to stop eating junk food. It needs to start working out. Because if the gym bros don't like you anymore and they're not gonna hang out with you, you're gonna die. Because they're gonna leave you at the jungle. You're in the jungle, you're gonna be left alone in the jungle. So you have to copy them. You have to work out. You have to please them. You have to please. So this is how it works in the Matrix. And then once I realized like this is how it works in the Matrix, I kind of realized that okay, I should just listen to people that make money, watch people that are working out, and then you're eventually do that. I was watching a guy like talking about working out for like 3 days. I'm like, yo, I want to work out. Right? Matrix, brother. Magic. Right? So what monkey see, monkey do, right? Because your brain is telling you, right? The hardware, the eyes and ears, they're picking up the software. The software is what you, so the hardware is what you see here in your brain, right? So the software is is what's around you. So if you look around, there's a wall, there's this. When you go outside, there's a blue sky. Then you go, there's this girl, she's half naked, and this, or you go to another country, they're fully clothed, they wear hijab. So that you start picking up all the software, and your brain starts reenacting all that. Your brain starts reenacting all that. And then once it reenacts that, it starts being like that. You start being like that. And then when you go to a different country, you see women are showing more skin and stuff. The girls will also show more skin. The guys will copy the other guys because we all want to be in our tribal clans, and we're scared we're gonna die off. That's why high school is a very dangerous place, because when you go to high school, you want to survive, right? Same thing. The brain saying, "Oh, if you don't hang out with these cool kids, you're gonna get bullied and beat up, and someone's gonna kill you or something. You're not gonna have good 4 years." So you hang out with dumbasses and jocks and whatever, and then you go to their parties and you become messed up because you don't want to be left alone or something. Just gotta realize everything is a mind game out here. It's all mental tricks. Once you kind of see past that, you don't really get scared anymore. It's that simple. But that's it for this one, guys.